A man ties a fake cartoon onto his wife's stomach. Nearby, a little boy is holding a rope and watching a suitcase. The man says, "My love, you ride the bicycle." The woman replies, "I'll pedal." Then the man gives his wife a push from behind, and the bicycle starts moving. At that moment, the little boy walks up and ties the rope to the man's pants, picks up the suitcase, and begins to run away. The police officers notice him. One officer says, "Look at that kid. He's stealing a suitcase. Let's take the shortcut. Run." The man laughs and says, "You made a big mistake, kid." The boy tries to run, but just then the police officers block his way. The officer says, "What are you doing with this suitcase?" The boy tricks them and escapes, and the officers start chasing after him. Meanwhile, the woman is still riding the bicycle. She says, "My love, I feel so happy with you." The rope is still tied to the bicycle. Behind her, her husband says, "Now all the money and jewelry will be mine." But when he looks back, he says, "Where's the suitcase?" Then he says, "What's happening to me?" Suddenly he falls down. The woman on the bike says, my love, we're going so fast." But when she looks behind, she says, "Help me, don't stop, this can't be happening." Her husband is being dragged behind the bicycle and yells, "Stop, what are you doing? Stop the bike." Suddenly the woman crashes into a bridge, and her husband, still being dragged, stops at the bridge and stands up saying, "In the end, my wife is no longer with us. Now all the money and jewelry will be mine. First, I have to find that suitcase." Meanwhile, the woman survives. Just then, her son returns with the suitcase and says, "Mama, are you okay now?" Suddenly the police arrive. The officer says, "Oh God, ma'am, what happened to you?" She calls out, "Quick, call an ambulance." The woman says, "I had an accident. I'm in a lot of pain. Please help me." The little boy says, "That's a lie. My stepfather tried to kill my mom. If I stole this suitcase, it was only because it belongs to her." The officer asks, "Is this true, ma'am?" The woman says, "Yes, this suitcase is ours. It has all the jewelry and money, and my greedy husband wanted to steal it from us." The officer says, "I want to report this suitcase as stolen." Meanwhile, the man calls the police and says, "My suitcase was stolen. Please help me." The situation is near the bridge. A while later, the officer arrives with the suitcase. The man says, "You brought back my suitcase. Great job." The officer replies, "A little thief had taken it. But don't worry, he's now in police custody." The man says, "Unbelievable. Anyway, please give me my suitcase." The officer says, "I'm sorry, but there are some documents inside this suitcase in a woman's name." "All right, but we'll need to investigate the suitcase at the station. Come with us." Later at the police station, the officer says, "I'm sorry to inform you that your wife has passed away in a major accident." The man cries and says, "This can't be happening." The officer says, "Now, according to the law, you may claim everything." She begins to hand over the suitcase when the little boy arrives. The officer says, "Louis is the rightful heir to everything now. Unfortunately, the baby that was in her womb also passed away. So now, everything legally belongs to this boy." The man says, "But officer, he's just a kid. How will he manage all this money?" The officer replies, "Whatever it is, it's his now. This boy is the owner of the suitcase." If you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.